So in this video, we are going to learn how to get specific data from MySQL on form submission. Now suppose guys you are using MySQL as a database application to store all of your customer data and you don't want to share the customer data with all of your team members. But at times they require to get the access of some of the customer details. So to solve this problem, in this video we have created an automation in which we have created a form using Google Form. So whenever one of my team members who need to get the access of the customer data of a particular customer, they can fill the form and enter the email address of the customer. And from that email address, from our MySQL database, we are going to get the complete raw data, the details of a complete customer which we have in our MySQL database. And at last, we are going to share only that customer's data as an email to the same team member, to the same user who has submitted the form using Gmail. Now guys, how you can set up this automation? To know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Google Forms to MySQL to Gmail. And then just click on Create. Now we can see that a workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with the trigger window. So the idea here is in Google Forms, we have created a form. So whenever any of our team members, any of our employee needs to get the details of a particular customer, the user or the employee actually enter the details like their name, their email address, their request summary that why they want to access the customers or users data, and the email address of the customer whose data they want. They enter that detail in this form and submit it. Then after that, using this automation, we get this form response inside Pabbly Connect, and then using Pabbly Connect, the same user, the same customer whose email address our team member has entered in the form, we get the details or the complete data of that particular customer, of that particular user from our MySQL database. And after getting those details, we send all the details of that customer to the same teammates on their email address using Pabbly Connect as well. And all of this process is automatically done. The employee, the team member just fills the form and submit it and they get the customer details without actually having the access to the data or the server. So let's begin guys how it is done. So what we have to do, first we have to connect our Google form with Pabbly Connect. Now to do so, here in trigger window in choose app, search for Google Forms. Select it. And then in trigger event from the drop down, select the trigger event as new response received. After selecting a trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. Now using this webhook URL, we are going to connect this form with Pabbly Connect, and then after making this connection, whenever we are going to get some response, some form submission in this particular form, the form submission data will be captured inside Pabbly Connect. So how it is done? You just have to follow the help text given below over here. Just copy this webhook URL from here, and then we have to go to our Google form. Right now you can see that we are in the questions tab of our Google form. On the right side we have an option of responses. Switch to responses tab and here you can see a small spreadsheet icon. Click on it, select create a new spreadsheet and click on create. Now when we click on create, in a new tab we can see that a Google spreadsheet is open. And this is the same spreadsheet in which all the responses, all the form submission data of our Google Forms are stored. So basically from this Google Sheet, we are going to send the details of the form submission or form responses to Pabbly Connect. Now how we can do that? After opening the sheet, just go to Extensions, Add-ons and click on Get Add-ons. After clicking on Get Add-ons, we will reach to Google Workspace Marketplace. And here in Search app, we have to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Pabbly, Pabbly Connect Webhooks. And as you can see, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, this add-on is already installed in my Google Sheets. You just have to install this same add-on into your own Google Sheet account, and after installing it, just refresh your Google Sheets once. This is a very important step. And after refreshing it, go to Extensions, and this time we can see that Pabbly Connect Webhooks. this add-on can be seen over here. Just hover on it and click on Initial Setup. After clicking on Initial Setup, we can see that this box appears in front of us, and it is basically asking us three different things. First one is the selected sheet, second one is the webhook URL, and third one is the trigger column. Now here guys, basically in selected sheet, because in this Google Sheet we have only one sheet named as form response 1. That's why by default it has selected form response 1 as the selected sheet. Or if your Google Sheet, if your response sheet has multiple sheets in it, then from which sheet you want to send the data, you have to select it over here. Then it is asking us for the webhook URL. Now here in webhook URL, we have to paste the same webhook URL which Pabbly Connect gave us. Just copy it from here and paste it over here. And at last, it is asking us for the trigger column. Now here you must be thinking, what is this trigger column? So trigger column is basically the last data entry column of our Google Sheet. Now suppose an example in the background, you can see that this column E is going to be my trigger column because this is the last data entry column of my Google Sheet. After column E, we can see that in any of the column, none of our data exists. So column E will be our trigger column. Just select it and then click on Submit. After clicking on Submit, here it is showing us setup configured successfully. Just close this window, go to extensions once again, go to Pabbly Connect webhooks, and here we have an option of send on event. We just have to select this option and turn this on. And by selecting send on event, we are telling this Google Sheet, we are telling this add-on that whenever the data in the new row till our trigger column is added, whenever we receive a new form submission, a new form response in Google Form, then instantly, automatically, immediately send that same data to Pabbly Connect. And in this way, we have successfully created the connection between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect. So whenever we are going to receive a new response in our Google Form, automatically the details or the data of that form submission, that form response will be captured inside Pabbly Connect. And we are going to do the same. So let's open this form in preview mode and then we are going to make a test form submission. For example, the name of the person, name of the employee is Test Pabbly. This is the name and this is the email address. After this, it is asking us summary, so we are testing. So this is a summary which I have entered and then it is asking us for the user email address. So here we have to enter the email address of the user or the customer whose data we want to get. So here guys, in this video, I'm just taking an example of my employees and the customer data, the user data. And we are using email address to fetch the data, to fetch the user's details from the MySQL database. But instead of this, you can basically use this automation workflow according to your use case, according to your requirement. And then you can basically, instead of email address, you can change this with anything like, for example, username, mobile number, or anything like that. So here guys, let's enter the email address. We will go to our MySQL database and for example, we have a user named as demo4user4. This is the name and this is the email address of this user. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this email address from here and I'm going to enter the same email address over here in this form. And in this video, in this automation, we are taking an example of this particular user and then just click on submit. Now, when we click on submit, we can see that just now we have received a new response on our Google form. And because we have connected this Google form with Pabbly Connect, we will see that this same response which we have received on our Google form will also be captured inside Pabbly Connect. And yes, here in Pabbly Connect, you can see that we have received the response. And in this response, we can see the same details. We have the same user details in the response which we have received. We have the timestamp that at what date and time this form was submitted. Then we have the reason request summary. We have the name of the employee or the team member who has requested the data and their email address. So whatever email address our team member or the requester is going to enter in this form, on the same email address, we are going to send an email with all the required data, all the requested data they have asked for. So guys, the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. We have successfully received the data request from Google Forms inside Pabbly Connect. Now let's move to step 2. And in step 2, using this request value, using this email address, we want to get the complete details of a user, of a customer from our MySQL database. Now to do so, just scroll down, come to our action window and here in choose app, search for MySQL. Select it. And then in action event from the drop down, select get rows as the action event. Click on connect and select add new connection. Now here guys, in this window, we have to connect MySQL database with Pabbly Connect. Now to make this connection, we have to enter the username of our MySQL database. We also have to enter the password of our MySQL database. We have to enter the host, database and port. And after entering all of these details, just click on Save to connect your MySQL database with Pabbly Connect. Right now, I'm just going to select my existing connection, my old connection, and click on Save to connect my MySQL account. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the table name. That what is the name of the table, that from which table you want to fetch the data. So in the drop down below, you can see a list of all the tables which I have created in my MySQL account can be seen over here. And out of all of this, we are going to use this table named as customer data. So this is the same table in which we have all the customer related data. Then it is asking us column name. And in the drop down below, we will see a list of all the columns which we have created in this table can be seen over here. And out of all of this, we have to select the column that in which column we are searching for data. So we have the email address of the user received from Google Form responses. So we are going to select the column of email because in this column, we are going to search for data. Then it is asking us for the operator. And in the operator, we have a list of different operations over here. So we are going to select operators as equals to because we want to get the details of the customer with the exact match of the email address. And then it is asking us for the value, that what is the value we are searching for. So here guys, we have received the response, the value of email address from Google Form responses in our trigger window. And from this response, we have to basically map the same response of email address over here in this value section. Just click on this field and in the drop down below, you will see a list of all the responses which we have received from Google Forms. So here from these responses, select the response of email address of the user whose details we are searching for and map it. Then it is asking us for the limit. So here guys, we just have to set the limit. So you can basically just ignore it for now and click on Save and Send Test Request. Now after clicking on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received the response. And in this response, we can see the details of the complete row of our MySQL data. Here you can see the details of the customer. So we have the first name, last name, same email, same mobile number, and same username. The same detail, all the details of a customer of a row from our MySQL database is being received inside Pabbly Connect. So guys, the step 2 of this automation is also completed. Until now, we have received the email address of the user, that email address of the value, that data of what value we are searching for in our MySQL database. And then using MySQL step, we have also retrieved the data. Now what we have to do, we have to send all of this data of a customer to one of our team members who has submitted the form and requested the data. And we are going to email this data. We have to send this data via email. For that, just scroll down, click on this Add Action Step button. And here in Choose App, search for Gmail. Select Gmail. And then in Action Event from the drop-down, select Send Email as the action event. Click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Gmail account, that from which Gmail account we are going to send this email with the customer details. For this, now to connect this Gmail account, just click on this Connect with Gmail button, select the account from which you are going to send the emails with customer data, scroll down and click on Continue. And as we click on Continue, we will see this Gmail account of ours will get connected with Pabbly Connect. Then after connecting our Gmail account, the first thing it asks us is the recipient email address, that what is the email address to whom we want to send this email. So we have received the email address of the requester, of the user or team member who has asked for this data in the trigger response. So in Google Form, we have created a field for the email address of the user, and on that same email address, we want to send the data. So this is it. And we are going to map this same response of employee email over here. Just click on this field, and in the drop down below from Google Form responses, select this response of email address of the employee. Then it is asking us CC, BCC. So we don't want to add anyone in CC or BCC. So we are going to ignore it. Then it is asking us sender's name, that by what name we are going to send this email. For example, I want the sender's name to be Pabbly Database. So by this name, we are going to send the email. Then it is asking us for email subject. So I want the email subject to be requested data of the user. So this is the subject line of the email which I'm going to send. Instead of this, you can basically select or enter any kind of subject line of your choice. Then it is asking us reply to. So if you want to add any kind of reply to email address, you can add it over here. Then we have to select the email content type. So in the drop down, we can basically create two different types of email. First one is a plain email, plain text email, and second one is the HTML body type of email. So if you want to create an HTML email, just select it. Or right now in this video, I'm just creating a plain email. Then it is asking us email content, that what is the content, what is the body of the email address we want to send. So I want my email to start as hello, and after hello from Google Form responses, I'm going to mention the name of the user who has requested the data. Then I want my email to be okay, so this is the kind of email I want to send. And in this email, here in front of name, I want to mention the name of the customer. In front of email, I want to mention the email address of the customer whose details they have asked for. Then here in front of mobile, we are going to mention the mobile number and the username as well in the following way. So guys, from our MySQL database, in response of our MySQL step, we have received the complete details of the row, complete details of the user. So from this response, one by one, we are going to map these details over here. So let's start with name. Just click here, and from the drop down from MySQL get rows responses, select the response of first name, add a space, and then map the last name of the customer, of the user. Then let's map the email address as well. So just click here, and from the drop down, map the response of email address. Then let's map the mobile number. This is it. And at last the username. Just click here and map it. So in this way, all the details of a customer or any kind of thing which we have fetched from MySQL, we have to basically send all of these details in the email. So in this email body, you can map all of the data, all of the required data. So for whatever user the person is going to enter the form, for the same user, we are going to get the details from MySQL and we are going to send the details of that user, that customer via email. Then if you want to attach some kind of files, you can enter the name of the file and the attachment link, the file link as well. Right now in this video, I'm not sending any kind of file attachment, so we can just ignore it and click on Save and Send Test Request. After clicking on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the data which we have mapped over here, the email which we have created over here with the customer details is now sent to the same person who has submitted the form. So let's check it. We are going to check the email inbox of this account. So we'll go to a new tab, switch to the Gmail. And yes guys, here you can see that we have received the email. So the sender's name is Pabbly database, the same sender's name which we have entered over here in Pabbly Connect. Then we have the same subject line as requested data of the user. And then we have this email, hello test Pabbly, the same user whose details, whose name we have entered while submitting the form, who has submitted the form. Here are the details of the user you have requested for. We have the name, we have the email address, we have the mobile number and the username. Now this means the automation workflow which we have created till now is working perfectly fine. And then using this automation, we are automatically going to fetch the details of the user whose email address you have mentioned in the Google form from our MySQL database. And then we are going to send the details of that same user, the same customer as an email to the team member, to the employee who has filled the form on their email address. So guys, after setting up this automation, let's test this automation once in real time. We are going to refresh this form and we are going to enter the details of a new user. So for example, let's enter the same employee name, test Pabbly, the same email address as well. And request summary is real time test. And then this time we are going to enter the email address of a different user. So we will refer to our MySQL database and we have this username, we have this email address, and we are going to enter this email address. So the name of this user is demo9user9. This is the name, this is the email address, this is the mobile number, and this is the username. So we are going to enter the email address of this user in the Google form and click on submit. And after submitting it, we will see the form has been submitted. And in Google Sheet, we can see that the form response is captured just now. And we will see within seconds, automatically, we are going to get an email with the details of the same user, the same customer, whose email address we have entered. So we will refer to our email inbox. And yes, here you can see that a new email is received. Let's open this email. And this email says, hello test Pabbly means our name. Here are the details of the user you have requested for. Demo9user9, we have the same email address which we have entered in form submission, same customer, same user's mobile number and the username. The same data of our MySQL database has been fetched and sent to us on our email address. Now this means the automation workflow which we have created is working perfectly fine. So guys, not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications using Pabbly Connect. And guys, one more important thing. You will find the clone link of the same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone the same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down your suggestion, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.